is the Hatchet Lady, who lives in a cave in the rocks. She appears as a shadow, or sometimes nude with an axe, to dismember naughty children. I wanted to go there before I read that. Phoenix Theater, Petaluma, California. In 2014, Tom Gaffey, longtime manager of the Phoenix Theater, told the website about the unexplained phenomena that he's experienced, including random phone calls, voices from within the otherwise empty building, and several ghosts. He's even given them names like the little kid, Big Chris, and the lady in the bathroom. Gaffney is not the only one to have seen the ghosts, though. They've been verified by psychics and other paranormal experts, and a security guard for Guar, who asked, "Who's that little kid back there in the exit in the middle of the show?" Apparently, this guard walked out after no one could find this little boy. Guar's a band, just in case you didn't know. Congress Theater, Chicago. Prior to its closing in 2013, Chicago's Congress Theater, where ZZ Top recorded their episode of VH1 Storytellers, was rumored to be haunted. IllinoisHauntedHouses.com notes that a woman's apparition and shadowy figures have been seen, and people have heard disembodied footsteps and eerie noises. Now, I already talked about it once already, but the Royal Albert Hall in London. As I said, it's been a haunting staple since 1871. The most famous example supposedly occurred in 1930, when the Spiritualist Association gathered in a seance for Arthur Conan Doyle. But the venue's site details a number of other spirit visitations, including 2 girls said to appear each November 2nd, right before 2 a.m. in the basement. Ryman Auditorium, Nashville. The auditorium opened in 1892 as the Union Gospel Tabernacle, constructed by local businessman Thomas Ryman. After his death in 1904, the venue was renamed in his honor. If you believe the Nashville Ghost website, Ryman occasionally shows up for performances. 2 other supposed spirit regulars are Hank Williams Sr. and an all-gray figure, possibly a late Confederate soldier, who appears in the balcony. First Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. A vision of a blonde woman in a green coat hanging from a noose has been spotted in the 5th stall of the ladies' room at First Avenue, the Minneapolis club made famous by Prince in his Purple Rain movie. The legend stems from the venue's previous existence as a bus station. A woman who killed herself in the bathroom after learning her boyfriend was killed in World War II. That's so sad. The Indiana Farmers Coliseum, Indianapolis. A propane explosion during a performance of Holiday on Ice on Halloween 1963 at the Coliseum, as it was known at the time, in Indianapolis, killed more than 70 people, and the horrors of the tragedy are believed to be the reason for it being haunted. In her book, Ghost Hunter's Guide to Indianapolis, Lori Sankowski and her friend felt very warm even though the temperature outside was 67 degrees, and they heard clicking noises that stopped when they called out. On top of that, they discovered a red orb in the spot where a woman's figure has occasionally been spotted. House of Blues, Chicago, Illinois. According to Time Out Chicago, a gruesome murder took place in the House of Blues current building back in 1972, when it operated as a cinema. Adding to the creepiness, many locals have reported seeing the ghost of a little girl in the venue, although retired police officer Ray Johnson told the Chicago Tribune that some people may be confusing that location with the adjacent including a long emptied swimming pool and a crusted over bowling alley. Even the COVID-19 pandemic could not stop the event. The pre-Halloween, socially distanced Halloween blackout event explored the space self-described as one of the Midwest's most haunted buildings. Orpheum Theater, Memphis, Tennessee. According to TennesseeHauntedHouses.com, the ghost of a 9-year-old girl named Mary, who was killed in a car accident outside the theater, has been known to turn the lights on and off and slam the doors. A second spirit who wears a mask, no thank you, inhabits the heating ducts and has been seen waving to performers. Nope. Florida Theater, Jacksonville, Florida. 2 ghosts are believed to inhabit the Florida Theater. The Florida Times Union notes that they even have their own seats, balcony E1 and E2, and that one of the visions could be Joseph Hilton, who played the organ there in the 20s before killing himself. The Jacksonville Daily Record, who also spoke with an employee, has chatted with the spirit of another former employee named Doc Crowther, who now prefers to be called Jay for joy. Okay. The Rabbits Theater, Niagara Falls, New York. The Rabbits Theater opened in 1921, originally showing films and vaudeville performances, changed ownership numerous times over the decades, currently operates as a predominantly rock venue, but paranormal fans also know the venue for its 2011 appearance on the sci-fi show Ghost Hunters. The episode, called Stage Fright, explored the legend of a young actress who, according to the legend, hung herself in the back of the theater. There have been several reports of mysterious whistling, loud footsteps, moving objects, and doors clothing. The venue offers ghost hunts, even allowing guests to rent out the space for private exertions. Orpheum Concert Hall, Vancouver. GhostsOfVancouver.com reports that 3 spirits inhabit the Orpheum Concert Hall, a vaudeville house and movie theater built in 1927 and converted into a music venue in the mid-70s. One is an attendant for the downstairs men room, and the other is a lady in the balcony who applauds when no one is on stage. But the most famous, often spotted after hours by employees, is that of a man who believed to be an acrobat who fell to his death during a vaudeville show. The Masquerade, Atlanta. Even though the Atlanta venue relocated in 2016, its former residents earned plenty of ghostly legends during its nearly 2-decade run at the city's historic Debris Excelsior Mill. The Haunted Rooms website notes several of the supposed characters and sounds lurking in the club, to include a tall man who's always seen walking around, mysterious footsteps, cold spots, horrifying screams that emerge from the stairs. The Chapel, San Francisco. Employees of the Chapel, a club in the Mission District of San Francisco that had once been a mortuary, told KALW that they've occasionally seen things at night that cannot be easily explained, particularly early in the morning or late at night. They've had doors close unexpectedly, bottles fly off the shelves toward them, and apparitions that have been occasionally spotted. Roseland Theater, Portland, Oregon. In 2008, Alt Weekly, the Portland Mercury, published a retrospective naming the Roseland Theater as the best haunted venue of 1988, a nod to the club's grisly history. But the actual bloodshed occurred in 1990, back when the venue was named the Starry Night. Following a failed counterfeit ticket scam, owner Larry Hurwitz was involved in the murder of an employee inside the space. Bob Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky. Come for the ghosts, stay for the music has become a motto for Bobby Mackey's, a small country music honky-tonk located 15 or so minutes from Cincinnati. Didn't I just say that was in Kentucky? Okay. Can't is a crazy, crazy building, and backstage has just this ominous feeling when you go back there. Anyway, creepy. It's not necessarily a music venue as much as a theater,